Craig Ferguson is a Scottish-born American television host, stand-up comedian, writer, actor, director, author, producer and voice artist. He is the host of The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson, an Emmy Award-nominated, Peabody Award-winning late-night talk show that airs on CBS. Ferguson will additionally host the syndicated Celebrity Name Game in late 2014. After starting his career in Britain with music, comedy and theatre, Ferguson moved to the United States where he found success in the role of Nigel Wick on The Drew Carey Show. He has written and starred in 3 films, directing one of them. Ferguson has also written 2 books, Between the Bridge and the River, a novel, and American on Purpose, a memoir. Early life and education. Ferguson was born in Stapill Hospital, in the Springburn district of Glasgow, Scotland, to Robert and Janet Ferguson, on May 17, 1962, and raised in nearby Cumbernauld, growing up chubby and bullied. He was raised Scottish Presbyterian. When he was 6 months old, he and his family moved from their Springburn apartment to a council house in Cumbernauld. They lived there as Glasgow was rehousing many people following damage to the city from World War II. Ferguson attended Moorfield Primary School and Cumbernauld High School. At age 16, Ferguson dropped out of Cumbernauld High School and began an apprenticeship to be an electronics technician at a local factory of American company Burroughs Corporation. His first visit to the United States was as a teenager to visit an uncle who lived on Long Island, near New York City. When he moved to New York City in 1983, he worked in construction in Harlem. Ferguson later became a bouncer at the nightclub Save the Robots. Career. British career. Ferguson's experience in entertainment began as a drummer in a rock band called Exposure. He then joined a punk band called The Bastards from Hell. The band, later renamed Dream Boys, and fronted by vocalist Peter Capaldi, performed regularly in Glasgow from 1980 to 1982. Ferguson credits Capaldi for inspiring him to try comedy. After a nerve-wracking first appearance, he decided to create a character that was a parody of all the A1-quarter-bear patriotic native folk singers who seemed to infect every public performance in Scotland. The character, being Hitler, premiered in Glasgow, and subsequently became a hit at the 1986 Edinburgh Festival Fringe. A recording of his stage act as Bing Hitler was made at Glasgow's Tron Theatre and released in the 1980s. A Bing Hitler monologue appears on the compilation cassette Honey at the Core. After enjoying success at the Edinburgh Festival, Ferguson appeared on television in Red Dwarf, STV's Hogmanay Show, and the 1993 One Foot in the Grave Christmas special One Foot in the Algarve. In 1990 a pilot was broadcast, The Craig Ferguson Show, a one-off comedy pilot for Granada Television, which co-starred Paul Whitehouse and Helen Atkinson Wood. This was followed by Ferguson's own 1992 show 2000 Not Out. In 1993, Ferguson presented a series on Scottish archaeology for Scottish television entitled Dirt Detective. He travelled throughout the country examining archaeological history, including Skara Brae and Paisley Abbey. Ferguson has also found success in musical theatre. Beginning in 1991, he appeared on stage as Brad Majors in the London production of The Rocky Horror Show, alongside Anthony Head, who was playing Dr. Frankenfurter at the time. In 1994, Ferguson played Father McLean in the highly controversial production of Bad Boy Johnny and the Prophets of Doom at the Union Chapel in London. The same year, he appeared again at the Edinburgh Fringe, as Oscar Madison in The Odd Couple, opposite Gerard Kelly as Felix and Kate Anthony as Gwendolyn Pigeon, who is now much better known as Auntie Pam in Coronation Street. The play, which was relocated to 1990s Glasgow, later toured Scotland. U.S. career. After cancellation of his show The Ferguson Theory, Ferguson moved to Los Angeles in 1994. His first U.S. role was as Baker Logan McDonough on the short-lived 1995 ABC comedy Maybe This Time, which starred Betty White and Marie Osmond. His breakthrough in the U.S. came when he was cast on The Drew Carey Show as the title character's boss, Mr. Wick, a role that he played from 1996 to 2003. He played the role with an over-the-top posh English accent to make up for generations of English actors doing crap Scottish accents. In his comedy special A Wee Bit O' Revolution, he specifically identified James Doohan's portrayal of Montgomery Scott on Star Trek as the foundation of his revenge. His character was memorable for his unique methods of laying employees off, almost always firing Johnson, the most common last name of the to-be-fired workers. Even after leaving the show in 2003, he remained a recurring character on the series for the last 2 seasons, and was part of the 2-part series finale in 2004. During production of The Drew Carey Show, Ferguson devoted his off time as a cast member to writing, working in his trailer on set in between shooting his scenes. He wrote and starred in 3 films, The Big Tease, Saving Grace, and I'll Be There, which he also directed and for which he won the Audience Award for Best Film at the Aspen, Dallas and Valencia Film Festivals. He was named Best New Director at the Napa Valley Film Festival. These were among other scripts that, in the great tradition of the movie business, about half a dozen that I got paid a fortune for but never got made. His other acting credits in films include Niagara Motel, Lenny the Wonder Dog, Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, Chain of Fools, Born Romantic, The Ugly Truth, How to Train Your Dragon, Kick-Ass and Winnie the Pooh. Ferguson has been touring the United States and Canada with a stand-up comedy show since the late 2000s, including a performance at Carnegie Hall on October 23, 2010 and a performance at Radio City Music Hall on October 6, 2012. He has performed 2 stand-up television specials on Comedy Central, both released on DVD, A Wee Bit O' Revolution in 2009 and Does This Need to Be Said? In 2011. His 3rd comedy special, I'm Here to Help, was released on Netflix in 2013, garnering positive reviews on 4 out of 5 stars on Netflix and peaking at number 6 on Billboard Top Comedy Albums. It also received a 2014 Grammy Award nomination for Best Comedy Album. Ferguson was awarded the Peter Ustinov Comedy Award by the Banff World Media Festival on June 11, 2013. The Late Late Show. In December 2004, it was announced that Ferguson would be the successor to Craig Kilborn on CBS's The Late Late Show. His first show as the regular host aired on January 3, 2005. By May 2008, Ben Ulber, an American television historian and an authority on U.S. talk shows, said Ferguson has already made his mark, taking the TV monologue to new levels with an underlying story. But he is only just starting. He is making up his own rules. It's the immigrant experience. The show is unique in that it has no human sidekicks such as Ed McMahon on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson or Conan O'Brien's Andy Richter. He has a remotely operated skeleton named Jeff and 2 silent performers in a horse costume. His monologues are conducted within a few feet of the camera versus the long distance that Johnny Carson kept from the camera and audience. These props are the modern offspring of the legendary Soupy Sales, with his children's show being uncannily similar although not nearly as consistent as Ferguson's polished and intuitive delivery. The Late Late Show averaged 2.0 million viewers in its 2007 season, compared with 2.5 million for Late Night with Conan O'Brien. In April 2008, The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson beat Late Night with Conan O'Brien for weekly ratings for the first time since the 2 shows went head-to-head with their respective hosts. By the end of 2009, Craig Ferguson topped Jimmy Fallon in the ratings, with Ferguson getting a 1.8 rating/6 share and Fallon receiving a 1.6 rating/6 share. By 2014, Ferguson's ratings had faltered, trailing those of Late Night with Seth Meyers with an average of 1.35 million viewers versus 2.02 million. On April 28, 2014, Ferguson announced he will leave The Late Late Show at the end of 2014. His contract was set to expire in June 2014, but a 6-month extension was agreed on in order to provide a more graceful exit and give CBS more time to find a replacement host. He will reportedly receive $5 million as part of his contract because he was not selected as the replacement for Letterman's Late Show. Ferguson made the decision prior to Letterman's announcement but agreed to delay making his own decision public until the reaction to Letterman's decision had died down. CBS Entertainment chair Nina Tussler said, following the announcement, that in his decade as host Ferguson had infused the broadcast with tremendous energy, unique comedy, insightful interviews and some of the most heartfelt monologues seen on television. CBS intends to continue the franchise with a new host. Television and appearances. Craig Ferguson has made guest appearances on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, Late Show with David Letterman, Late Night with Conan O'Brien, Rachel Ray, Countdown with Keith Olbermann, The Howard Stern Show, The Daily Show, The View, Loveline, Real Time with Bill Maher, The Soup, The Talk, The Price is Right, Kevin Pollak's Chat Show and The Dennis Miller Show. He also co-hosted Live with Regis and Kelly with Kelly Ripa and was guest host on the April Fool's Day episode of The Price is Right in 2014. In 2009, Ferguson made a cameo live-action appearance in the episode We Love You, Conrad on Family Guy. Ferguson hosted the 32nd Annual People's Choice Awards on January 10, 2006. TV Guide magazine printed a cheers for appearing on his own show that same evening. From 2007 to 2010, Ferguson hosted the Boston Pops Fireworks Spectacular on July 4, broadcast nationally by CBS. Ferguson was the featured entertainer at the 26 April 2008 White House Correspondents' Association dinner in Washington, D.C. Ferguson co-presented the Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama with Brooke Shields in 2008. He has done voice work in cartoons, including being the voice of Barry's evil alter ego in the With Friends Like Steve's episode of American Dad. In Freakazoid. As Roddy McStew, Freakazoid's mentor. And on Buzz Lightyear of Star Command as the robot vampire NOS-4A2. He was the voice of Susan the Boyle on Futurama, which was a parody of Scottish singer Susan Boyle. He makes stand-up appearances in Las Vegas and New York City. He headlined in the Just for Laughs Festival in Montreal and in October 2008 Ferguson taped his stand-up show in Boston for a Comedy Central special entitled A Wee Bit O' Revolution, which aired on March 22, 2009. British television comedy drama Doc Martin was based on a character from Ferguson's film Saving Gracia with Ferguson getting writing credits for 12 episodes. On November 6, 2009, Ferguson appeared as himself in a SpongeBob SquarePants special titled SpongeBob's Truth or Square. He hosted Discovery Channel's 23rd season of Shark Week in 2010. Ferguson briefly appeared in Toby Keith's Red Solo Cup music video released on October 10, 2011. In September 2013, Ferguson guest-starred on the season finale of Hot in Cleveland as a priest tabloid journalist who turns out to be the father of Joy's son. The show reunited him with former co-star and frequent Late Late Show guest Betty White. Ferguson will reprise the role for several episodes when the show returns in March 2014. In October 2013, it was announced that Ferguson would host the syndicated game show Celebrity Name Game, produced by Coquette Productions, beginning in late 2014. Ferguson's involvement in the project dates back to 2011, when it was originally pitched and piloted as a CBS primetime series. As of April 2014, the series has an initial order of 180 episodes. Literature. Ferguson's novel Between the Bridge and the River was published on April 10, 2006. He appeared at the Los Angeles Festival of Books, as well as other author literary events. "This book could scare them," he said. "The sex, the violence, the dream sequences and the iconoclasm. I think a lot of people are uncomfortable with that. I understand that. It was very uncomfortable to write some of it." The novel is dedicated to his elder son, Milo, and to his grandfather, Adam. He revealed in an interview that he is writing a sequel to the book, to be titled The Sphinx of the Mississippi. He also stated in a 2006 interview with David Letterman that he intends the book to be the first in a trilogy. Ferguson signed a deal with HarperCollins to publish his memoirs. The book, entitled American on Purpose, The Improbable Adventures of an Unlikely Patriot, focuses on how and why he became an American, and covers his years as a punk rocker, dancer, bouncer and construction worker as well as the rise of his career in Hollywood as an actor and comic. It went on sale September 22, 2009 in the United States. On December 1, 2010, the audiobook version was nominated for a Best Spoken Word Album Grammy. In July 2009, Jackie Collins was a guest on The Late Late Show to promote her new book Married Lovers. Collins said that a character in her book, Don Verona, was based on Ferguson because she was such a fan of him and his show. Personal life: Ferguson is a fan of Scottish football team Partick Thistle FC, as well as the British television show Doctor Who. He has 5 tattoos which include the Join, or Die political cartoon on his right forearm, a Ferguson family crest with the Latin motto Dulcius ex Asperis on his upper right arm in honour of his father, and a Celtic cross with the Ingram clan motto Magnanimus Esto on his upper left arm in honour of his mother. He has often stated that his Join, or Die tattoo is to signal his patriotism. Ferguson holds an FAA private pilot license issued July 31, 2009. Ferguson announced on April 8, 2011 broadcast that he is pursuing an instrument rating. Family: in an episode of The Late Late Show that aired December 8, 2008, a somber Ferguson talked about his mother, Janet. He ended the program by playing her favorite song, Rivers of Babylon by Boney M. Ferguson eulogized his father on air on January 30, 2006. Ferguson has 2 sisters and 1 older brother. His elder sister's name is Janice and his brother's name is Scott. His younger sister, Lynn Ferguson Tweddle, is also a successful comedian, presenter, and actress, perhaps most widely known as the voice of Mac in the 2000 stop-motion animation film Chicken Run. She was a writer on The Late Late Show until July 2011. Ferguson has married 3 times and divorced twice as a result of what he describes as relationship issues. His first marriage was to Anne Hogarth from 1983 to 1986, during which time they lived in New York. From his second marriage, he has 1 son, Milo Hamish Ferguson, born in 2001. He and Corwin share custody of Milo, and live near each other in Los Angeles. On December 21, 2008, Ferguson married art dealer Megan Wallace Cunningham in a private ceremony on her family's farm in Chester, Vermont. Ferguson announced July 14, 2010 on Twitter that they were expecting a child. He wrote, "Holy crackers. Mrs. F is pregnant. How did that happen? Oh yeah, I know how." Another Ferguson arrives in 2011. The world trembles. The child, a boy named Liam James, was born January 31, 2011. Alcoholism: Ferguson is a recovering alcoholic, and has been sober since February 18, 1992. Ferguson said he had considered committing suicide on Christmas Day 1991, but when offered a glass of sherry by a friend for celebrating the holiday, he was distracted from jumping off Tower Bridge in London as he had planned. American citizenship: during 2007, Ferguson, who at the time held only British citizenship, used The Late Late Show as a forum for seeking honorary citizenship from every state in the U.S. He has received honorary citizenship from Nebraska, Arkansas, Virginia, Montana, North Dakota, New Jersey, Tennessee, South Carolina, South Dakota, Nevada, Alaska, Texas, Wyoming, Pennsylvania and Indiana, and was commissioned as an admiral in the tongue-in-cheek Nebraska Navy. Governors John Corzine, John Llewellyn, Mark Sanford, Mike Rounds, Rick Perry, Sarah Palin and Jim Gibbons sent letters to him that made him an honorary citizen of their respective states. He received similar honors from various towns and cities, including Ozark, Arkansas, Hazard, Kentucky, and Greensburg, Pennsylvania. Ferguson became an American citizen on February 1, 2008 and broadcast the taking of his citizenship test as well as his swearing-in on The Late Late Show. Filmography: Comedy specials, A Wee Bit O' Revolution. Comedy Central 2009. Does This Need to Be Said? EPIX, Comedy Central 2011. I'm Here to Help. Netflix 2013. Discography: Live at the Tron. Jammy Records 1986. Catalog number JRLP 861. Mental. Bing Hitler is Dead? Polydor 1988. A Big Stature. Polydor 1990. I'm Here to Help. New Wave Dynamics. 2013. Bibliography, Ferguson, Craig. Between the Bridge and the River. Chronicle Books. ISBN A978-0-8118-5375-0. Ferguson, Craig. American on Purpose, The Improbable Adventures of an Unlikely Patriot. HarperCollins. ISBN A978-0-06-171954-7. References. External links. Media related to Craig Ferguson at Wikimedia Commons. Craig Ferguson at the Internet Movie Database. Craig Ferguson on Twitter. The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson.